Yes, point of order, Mr. Dunn.
Our colleague has spoken very eloquently for 10 minutes before the vote, when most people are here. Could I request, on my own behalf, 90 seconds to respond to those points before the next vote? Not today, but on another day. Just 90 seconds, so I would get 15% of the time that our colleague has been allocated. Because I thought I'd come here to vote. I didn't realise we were going to have 10-minute speeches.
Thank you. We start the votes.
I'll do it now, if you like. Yeah, I do it now. There are problems, and these problems are better resolved and determined at the national level. And what recent events have shown is the total inability of the European Union to do anything at all that actually means anything. Now, immigration is a very, very controversial subject, but for my own country, I'll just make one point, and one point only. According to the statistics that came out about 3 days ago, in our country, which is less than half the size of that of the Federal Republic of Germany, we have accepted 8 million immigrants since 1997, when the Labour government conducted a frankly dangerous experiment. A dangerous experiment which never had the assent of the British people and doesn't have it today. Now, the demands for asylum and the demands for taking in up to 4 million refugees from Syria and unlimited numbers for Africa, it will be possible for our country to look at this with a greater degree of equanimity if it weren't for the fact that we've already had 8 million people. We've already had 8 million people, more than, for example, the entire population of Sweden or Denmark. Now, as far as the consensus is concerned, there isn't a consensus. And the reason there isn't a consensus is because of the absolute failure of EU policies in almost every area which they've applied, starting particularly with the euro, which is the great economic doomsday machine, which is already causing untold suffering. And the fact of the matter is, what we've just heard is 10 minutes of complete denial of reality. And the fact is there isn't a consensus, and thank goodness, for once, there's not a consensus in the European Parliament either.
Distinguished colleagues, thank you very much. You had your 90 seconds. Thank you. This is not a debate, and we are of course, over the competencies of the International Trade Committee, but I think it's not pointless to have this discussion, but not now. Now we are turning to votes, and let us now proceed to the vote of the opinion on 2016 budget.